Magic the Gathering is an increasingly expensive game to play, and on Monday, Wizards of the Coast announced a change to boosters which might make that even worse. Tapped Out is a budget-focused channel, so when I saw that Murders at Karlov Manor, the first standard legal set of next year, would for the first time ever not come in 15-card boosters, I wasn't the most optimistic. Frankly, I was a little bit pissed off. The set and draft distinction that has been in their product line for a few years now will be replaced by one product: Play Boosters, which, as a side note, is a really dumb name. I don't understand why they couldn't have just called them Boosters and Collector Boosters. Like, as the two products, you have regular old boosters and then Collector Boosters. Why is it called Play Boosters? A Collector Boosters, can you not play with them? It's silly. Anyway, Wizards announced the change now because it's around this time that retailers have to start ordering in product, so that they have Murders in stock for when the release date happens, which is all very reasonable, obviously. What was less reasonable was the way they went about announcing it, because they dropped a blog post about it, but they also dropped the banned and restricted changes, which had nothing on it basically except a link to the blog post talking about Play Boosters, which made a lot of players upset that nothing had been changed in banned and restricted. And if you want to hear a little bit more on that side of things, I'll link Shaf and Vince's videos in the description. They did a great job covering it. And B, because it made it look like they'd taken the banned and restricted announcement and turned it into an advert for more card product. Especially because this change, as we'll describe, mostly only matters for draft, not constructed. Boosters themselves are effectively the same as set boosters, just expanded so that they can be used in a draft environment, with draft boosters going away entirely. Mark Rosewater in the blog post phrases this as merging of the two, but I don't think that's fair because they're retaining the set boosters price point. So we still have boosters at the set booster price point and nothing at the draft booster price point, which to me definitely means it can't be a merge. Having 3 booster products, draft, set, and collector, did make the product lineup more complicated. I can completely understand wanting to change that system. It was confusing to new players who didn't know what each product did and which one they were supposed to buy. It was difficult for local game stores to manage inventory, and I'm sure it was annoying for Wizards on the back end as well, because they had to print more product in more different SKUs. I understand all of that. They say in the article that set boosters are significantly more popular. They sell way more of them, which means that often local game stores don't even stock draft boosters, which means they can't even run drafts. And this product is supposed to address that. But what they did, instead of making draft boosters better, instead of making draft boosters products that people would want to buy, they just got rid of them instead. The old set boosters, which you'll still be able to get for Lost Caverns of Ixalan and Ravnica Remastered, had 12 cards, 1 token and 1 art card. So you think, okay, well, they need to be useful in draft environments, so they're going to add 3 cards and go to the same number as draft boosters, right? Absolutely not. Of course they didn't. They only added 2. And they combined the token and the art card into 1 slot, so you're now not guaranteed to get the art card, so sorry if you liked those. And if you needed more tokens, your odds of getting any particular one has just plummeted. And of course that slot is also where they put ads sometimes, and they don't break down the odds at all. They say it's 35% to get an art card, and the rest is a token or a play aid or an ad. So I have no idea how often you're actually going to pull a token from any of these packs. Compared to set boosters, you're also losing one of your wildcard slots, which is one of the cards that could be anything from the main set. There are still 2, one of which is guaranteed non-foil and can have booster fun variants, which is like different art treatments and stuff. And the other one is just called standard foil, which I assume means that there's no booster fun allowed. I've been thinking for a while that there should be a guaranteed list slot in boosters to make sure that reprints actually end up in people's hands. And considering they added 2 cards to these booster packs, they definitely could have, but they didn't. It's a 1 in 8 chance in one of the slots in the pack. They are cutting down the list though, so it's only going to be 30 or 40 cards a set. Presumably they wanted to keep a handle on it so it worked in draft environments. I think that's a really good thing though, because it increases your odds of getting any specific one, which means that the singles prices for those cards will actually go down. That's all assuming that they print cards in the list that people need, which is not a guarantee at all. In that slot is also where their new special guests go, which apparently will be featured in the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. It just seems like reprints with special art treatment, so I'm really not sure how it's different to Wilds of Eldraine's Enchanting Tales and stuff like that, but I guess we'll see. All of this does mean that if you directly compare it to a draft booster, it makes it look like a way better deal. I mean, there's now 4 slots where you can get a rare or a mythic. There's way fewer slots for commons. And there's a slot for a list card which was never there before. However, because they're going to be at the set booster price point, they're probably a worse deal, And because these, what were set boosters, are now having to be used in the draft environment, that means that the set themselves has to be designed around being played in limited. So it's very possible that the power level of cards like uncommons will drop because there will be more of them in the draft environment. You're also literally just getting one fewer card. It's now 14, not 15. I had some digging online and it seems per pack, most places charge about £1 more for a set booster than a draft booster. So playing in a draft is now going to cost at least £3 more. Playing in a sealed event is now going to cost at least £6 more, and that's just for the cost of the cards. And of course, Wizards of the Coast don't give an RRP, so who knows where those prices are actually going to end up. Almost always, that seems to be up, not down. And listen, they say in the article this is all about the consumer, but Wizards of the Coast love to explain how every decision they make is based on R&D testing, it's based on the play experience. But from where I stand, if that was true, wouldn't it swing in the player's favour sometimes? It's always, we tested it and 14 card drafts are better. It's never, we tested it and 16 card drafts are better. Magic's had 15 card boosters since Alpha. And they say in that article, well, 15 was picked before draft was even invented. But draft was invented based on 15 card boosters. And frankly, if they hadn't neglected draft boosters, if they'd put better stuff in them over the years, people would have continued buying them. They wouldn't have preferred set boosters. But they just made draft boosters not have enough value in them over time that set boosters became the default, and then here we are killing draft boosters. And optimistically, I do hope this means singles get cheaper. Optimistically, I hope it means the list starts to work. Optimistically, I hope it means new players don't get confused and overwhelmed by product and leave the game. And optimistically, I hope it means local game stores can stay in business. But right here, right now, having read that article, it just feels like a great way to spin shrinkflation and give the customer less for more money. And the people that hurts the most are people who are playing the game on a budget like me. Thank you for watching. I appreciate this might have been not as polished as usual. Obviously, I had to get it out pretty quickly, and it's also just a bit of a rant. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time.